I'm Katie Jones, and I'm the reference librarian for the Bossier Parish Community College Library. In this video, we're going to look at how to find books and other physical resources in the library on allied health and medical topics. Now, I've already done a video on basic searching in the online catalog, so if you need a little refresher, you may want to watch that video first. But for this video, we will focus primarily on some allied health topics and little tricks of how to find information. So let's take a look, shall we? The first thing we need to do is just get to the BPCC Library webpage. To do that, I'm going to click on Academic Life and then go down to Library. So again, that's Academic Life in the gray bar and Library. And that will bring you to our library webpage, where we've got a lot of really helpful information. If I scroll down the page a little bit, I come to our online catalog on the right-hand side. This is where you'll enter your search terms in order to find information on your topic. So let's say, for example, I'm doing a presentation for a class on HIV and AIDS. So I want to first try just putting in the term HIV. I'm going to keep this words and phrase, which means that any resource we have that ever mentions the term HIV, whether it be in the summary, in the title, or in a table of contents, should come up. So when I click on search, let's take a look at some of our results. Alright, so it looks like we found 20 titles that mention the term HIV. Now keep in mind, since we made this a words and phrase search, it's going to be any record that ever mentions it. So sometimes you are going to find things that are like videos, movies of more of a Hollywood nature, like Dallas Buyers Club, or here I see Precious at the bottom. But among those, I also see some really wonderful scholarly resources. Here we've got one on Essentials of Nursing and Law Ethics. And then I also see two called AIDS, Science and Society, 7th edition, or AIDS at 30, a history. So depending on what I wanted to discuss, whether it be the history or maybe treatment or diagnosis, depends on which of these resources would work best for me. I'm going to go ahead and click on this third result. Just from the little bit of information I'm given, it says it was published in 2014 and it's the 7th edition, so somehow to me that says that this has been around a while and is going to contain some good information. So when I click on that record, it gives me the title, my author, who published it, when it was published, and then I also see where I can find that book in the BPCC Library. So here it says to go to the nonfiction shelves on the first floor, and then I have my call number that I can write down and then use to narrow down exactly where it is on the shelves. So in this case, I would go to the nonfiction shelves on the first floor. I would look for the nonfiction 600 shelves, and then I would basically read that number like a sentence in order to find exactly where it was on the shelf. I'm going to click on Catalog Record because this will actually give me a little bit more information about what this book actually covers. So in this case, they have given us the table of contents, which means that I know what this book is going to actually discuss in it. So it's got an overview, I've got treatment, I know modes of transmission. So if I was going to do a presentation on HIV and AIDS, this looks like a book that covers a lot of the information I would need for that assignment. Also notice that they have given us what are called subject terms. In our case, I did look up the phrase HIV, but maybe I want to focus on AIDS in particular. So I could click on the subject term AIDS, and it would bring up only those titles that specifically mention or are specifically about the AIDS disease. And so here I have 14 titles. Some of these are books and resources that didn't come up the first time we did this search. I want to go back to that result we were looking at and show you one more thing. You'll notice this option here that says nearby items on shelf. Maybe I've already established that this looks like a really wonderful resource for my assignment. But I know that since we use the Dewey Decimal Call Number System, our books are arranged by topic. So it would make sense that books on a similar topic would be shelved together. So I can look on this Nearby Items on Shelf page, and it will give me a list of everything that's shelved right beside this book in our library. So here's the book we were looking at, and I see several other books. And it looks like these are mostly about nursing. So that might not be the best location, but why don't I try another one? Because I've seen a lot of books on nursing. I want to try this, AIDS a History. So let's try the nearby items on shelf for this one. And this actually looks like a much better set of results. So while that one was shelved with the nursing books, as in what to do if you are a nurse and you have a patient with HIV or AIDS, these tend to look at the disease itself. So I've got an encyclopedia of autoimmune diseases, I've got that AIDS at 30, a history, an encyclopedia of HIV and AIDS. So if this was a topic I was interested in, it looks like this 619.9792 area is a really good place to go to browse and find other books on this topic. Now, one thing I do want to reiterate is if you don't find information the first time you do a search in the online catalog, don't immediately think that we don't have information on that topic. I've seen often where students will have an assignment on a specific disease or disorder, and they'll do a search for that topic and not find anything. And let me see if I can come up with an example of that. Let's say you wanted to, or rather you had an assignment and needed to find resources on pink eye. I can do a search and nothing comes up. It says there were no matches in the library. Now that does not mean that we don't necessarily have information on pink eye. Sometimes you will need to look at some of the larger reference works that we have available. Our library has an extensive reference collection in allied health. And what that usually means is we'll have an encyclopedia with lots of information on allied health or medical topics, diseases, disorders, things of that sort. So even though I did a search for pink eye and nothing came up, chances are it's probably an entry in a larger work. So I usually recommend that you head to the reference collection and take a look at some of those to find the information that you need. And if you're wondering where those are, I might try doing a search for medical encyclopedia. And let's see what comes up when we do this search. And here we found 8 titles. Most of them tend to be in about the 610 area. And so chances are, if I'm looking at the American Medical Association Complete Medical Encyclopedia, they'll have something on pink eye. So if at first you don't find anything, don't fret. You may just need to look at some of these larger print reference works. And if you need any help finding those, please come to the circulation desk and we are more than happy to point you in the right direction. Thank you.